So a couple of days ago, a brand new installment in the Mario & Luigi RPG series was announced. Naturally, I was very calm and collected about it. So, it's pretty clear that this series means a lot to me. Well, why is that? Well, that's what this video's for, you silly! So grab your super mushrooms and syrup jars, it's time to take a look at what Mario & Luigi means to me. Let's travel back to the mystical year of 2004, where a tiny 8-year-old Steve received a Game Boy Advance for his birthday with two games, one being Sonic Advance 2 and the other being Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. Now by this point I've played my fair share of Super Mario. Super Mario Bros. 3 was my first ever video game, and I already had a GameCube with a few others like Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, plus I played Super Mario World at a friend's house and Mario 64 at my cousin's. Oh, and I owned the first season of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show on DVD, so needless to say, I fucking loved Mario. But Mario & Luigi was different. It was more story-driven than previous Mario games, and it was hilarious to boot. But above all, what intrigued my 8-year-old brain the most was the turn-based battle system. I was blown away at the very idea that when I stomped on a Goomba, a full-blown battle started where we would take turns dealing damage to each other. That's right, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga was my first JRPG, and I fucking loved it. I dedicated hours of my life to this game, and it really skyrocketed my love for the Mario series. With each new entry in the franchise, I made sure I begged for it for my birthday until I was old enough to buy them on my own. But one day, everything changed. On October 1st, 2019, Alpha Dream, the company behind the Mario & Luigi series, filed for bankruptcy and shut down. Needless to say, I was devastated. My beloved childhood series just stopped. The reality started to sink in that I may never see a new installment in my favorite Mario series. But now, here we are, 20 years after I fell in love with the series and getting not only a brand new installment, but the first ever console game in the series. There is a lot to discuss about this trailer, but before I do, let's take a trip down memory lane as I go through all 7 previous entries, starting with the one that ignited my love for the brothers, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. One fateful day in the Mushroom Kingdom, Princess Peach gets a visit from the ambassador of the Bean Bean Kingdom. But it was no friendly visit, as the ambassador turned out to be the evil witch Cackletta, who stole Princess Peach's voice. Now Mario and Luigi have to set off towards the Bean Bean Kingdom to return Peach's stolen voice to save both kingdoms from Cackletta's master plot. Right off the bat, the stakes are much higher than your average Mario game. The cast of characters the bros meet in this game are all amazing, from the main villain Cackletta and her incredible minion Thoughtful, to the lovable Prince Peasley, to the thief Popple and his very familiar looking rookie, to all the unique enemies to encounter, and so much more. And everyone says this, but it's so true, this game oozes charm. From its humor, to its sprite work, to its animations, this game is so fun just to even look at. Now, naturally, no JRPG is complete without a battle system, and the Mario & Luigi series just might have my favorite battle system in any RPG. Not only does this game feature the iconic timed hit mechanics that Super Mario RPG introduced, but Mario & Luigi takes it a step farther with the ability to outright dodge enemy attacks completely once you learn their attack patterns. This makes the battle system feel so much more like a platformer, which works perfectly in a Mario title. And on top of your standard jump and hammer attacks, Mario & Luigi can also utilize special bros attacks, where they put their skills together for massive damage. The timing on these can be a little tricky, but the reward is so worth it. But it's not just battling, there's a fair bit of platforming in this game too, and it's just as good. Having Mario jump with A and Luigi jump with B makes for such unique platforming that requires timing of both buttons to pull off, and it's so good. Not to mention all the various abilities you can unlock, like the spin jump, the high jump, the hammers, the fire and lightning powers, abusing the hammers and elemental powers to get even more movement options. It's just all so fantastic. And I can't leave out the music. I've talked extensively about how Yoko Shimomura is my favorite composer of all time, and this series is what gave her that title. The music in these games always fucking slap. About halfway through the game, Kakalota is defeated by the bros, but Fawful uses her spirit to possess Bowser, resulting in the single biggest piece of nightmare fuel in the entire series. And it's about here where the game changes. You see, Kakalota's plan was to use Peach's voice to awaken the Beanstar, a magical sleeping star that can grant wishes. But after this battle, the Beanstar shatters, and the game shifts into somewhat of a collectathon, with the bros traveling all over to find the pieces. Personally, this is the best part of the game to me. Returning to previous locations with new movement options makes for some of the most fun exploring in the game. Hey, is that Gino? Once Mario and Luigi save the day, Kakalota has one final trick up her sleeve, and says, "Screw the Beaming Kingdom, I'm going after the Mushroom Kingdom." Mario and Luigi travel to a floating Bowser's castle for the final level, and it is brutal. These feature some of the toughest bosses in the game, but that just makes it all the more satisfying when you destroy Kakalota once and for all, and save the day yet again. Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga is an absolute blast from start to finish, and set the groundwork for what the series will become, and all these years later, it still holds a special place in my heart. Making the jump from GBA to DS means 2 more buttons, so naturally, 2 more characters. In Mario & Luigi Partners in Time, an evil alien race known as the Shroobs invade the Mushroom Kingdom when Mario and Luigi were wee little babbies. Meanwhile, in the future, Professor Egad invents a time machine and sends Princess Peach back in time, only for her to be captured by the Shroobs. Now Mario and Luigi must journey to the past, team up with their younger selves, and save the princess. I really need to stress how fucking dark this game is. It has a far more somber tone than almost any other Mario game, but that doesn't mean it's without humor. There are still some great laugh-out-loud moments, and this game features hands down my favorite delivery Charles Martinet ever recorded. Babies! The game is a lot more linear than its predecessor, having Peach's castle act as a central hub with portals to the past leading to each new area. And I gotta say, it's really cool seeing the Mushroom Kingdom of old and how different things are from today's. I especially like how since Baby Mario is so synonymous with Yoshi, naturally you travel to Yoshi's Island, and the music there is a remix of the original Yoshi's Island title theme. Oh, yeah, Yoko Shimomura cooked with the soundtrack again, needless to say. The gameplay is relatively unchanged from Superstar Saga, but now you have control of the Baby Bros as well. Baby Mario uses X and Baby Luigi uses Y. What really makes this gameplay unique is the piggyback mechanic. Mario and Luigi can give piggyback rides to their younger selves, which makes for an extra jump to reach higher platforms, or tossing the babies to a high ledge to solve a puzzle. Admittedly, you separate the two pairs a lot in this game, but it makes the puzzle solving a bit simpler as a result. I never found myself getting stuck on a puzzle or not knowing what to do. The battle system also has a piggyback mechanic. Now you can use the babies to deal extra damage on jump or hammer attacks, and they can enhance Bros attacks. Oh, yeah, I should probably talk about that. This game, unfortunately, isn't without a few major negatives. For starters, the bosses are giant HP sponges. They have way too much health and take far too long to beat. I'm not joking when I say the final boss alone took me like an hour. But the absolute biggest detriment to the game is how they handle Bros attacks. In previous and future games, the Bros attacks are special abilities that the Bros can use at any time, as long as they have enough BP, which is refilled by drinking syrup. But in Partners in Time, the Bros attacks are consumable items, meaning that you can be on a tough boss, run out of items, and just be fucked. I have no idea why they went this direction, but it makes boss battles significantly more stressful because you have to make sure you stock up on Bros items beforehand. Really not a fan of this change. The game ends with a huge final boss gauntlet and the Bros defeat the Shroobs, and everyone returns to their own time. Overall, despite its shortcomings, Mario & Luigi Partners in Time is still a fantastic game, and utilizes so many wonderful mechanics to their fullest. Yeah, the bosses can have a little too much health, and I'm not a big fan of how the Bros attacks are handled, but I don't care. I still love this game. While I don't go back to it as often as Superstar Saga, it's still a game I look back on and remember fondly. It just needed a few more tweaks to really make it perfect. Blorbs, a disease spreading throughout Toad Town that causes toads to inflate like balloons. I'm sure somebody gets off to that. While trying to find a solution to this problem, Princess Peach holds a conference. Bowser, being upset he wasn't invited, causes a scene only to be defeated by Mario yet again. After his defeat, Bowser finds a mysterious salesman who gives him a vacuum mushroom, which Bowser uses to inhale Mario and company. I'm sure somebody gets off to that. Turns out the mystery man was Fawful, making a return this time as the main antagonist, and this is all part of his plot to get rid of the Bros so he could take over the Mushroom Kingdom. Now, Mario and Luigi must journey through Bowser's body and find their princess, as well as a way out. Meanwhile, Bowser sets off on his own adventure to take his castle back from Fawful. And that's the setup to Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. Now, before I go any further, I need to make one thing perfectly clear. Not only is this my favorite game in the series, not only is this my favorite Mario game in general, not only is this my favorite RPG in general, this is one of my favorite games ever. Like, easy top 10. I fucking love this game, and I have replayed it more than any other game in the Mario & Luigi series. So, excuse me while I gush about the game for a few minutes. Oh my god, you can play as Bowser with his own unique moveset, he has his own battle theme, the locations are also pretty and colorful, thoughtful, mini-games, fucking Bowser kaiju battles, holy shit! So, yeah, this is Bowser's Inside Story. As you'd expect from the series at this point, the Bros control fantastic, and while they're inside Bowser, the game shifts to a 2D perspective rather than the usual isometric view in the overworld. It makes for some of the most unique and fun platforming in the series as a result of the new level design. But more than that, you get to play as Bowser, complete with his own moveset. And, like the Bros, he can also get upgradable moves to help him traverse the landscape. The battle system for the Bros is pretty much identical to how it is to Superstar Saga, with the triumphant return of normal Bros attacks, but this time they kind of combined the items with the standard attacks, meaning the Bros can utilize all these cool items while still keeping the classic BP formula. This is definitely the best way to handle Bros attacks, and it's how the rest of the series will handle it going forward. But Bowser also has his own battle system, and this includes the ability to inhale smaller enemies and have the Bros finish them off inside his body. Mario and Luigi are the ultimate antibody system. Plus, Bowser has his own special moves that utilize his minions, a great way to give Bowser his own Bros attacks. What I really love about the game is how you can manipulate what happens inside Bowser's body. For example, if he drinks water, his insides will flood, letting the Bros swim to new areas. Or if he uses an X-ray, certain platforms will become visible. It's such a fun mechanic to utilize and see how it changes the level design. Not to mention the multitude of minigames as well that enhance Bowser's strength as a result. And sometimes the Bros can even manipulate him so much he grows 10 times his size and partakes in awesome kaiju battles. These battles utilize the DS touchscreen and are always super cool when they happen. The locations in this game are both familiar and unique. In Superstar Saga, you explored the Bean Kingdom, in Partners in Time, you explored the Mushroom Kingdom of Past, and in this game, you explore the Mushroom Kingdom of today. And while the locales are your standard array of Mario areas, they're designed in such a unique way that make traversing them so fun and interesting. Not to mention the amazing cast of characters. Fan favorite Fawful returns now as the game's main villain. He has a new minion named Midbis, who's a great rival to Bowser. There's Brock Monsieur, who teaches Bowser new abilities, and of course Mario and Luigi's new ally, the Star Sprite Starlo, who was such a fan favorite she returned in every game afterwards, except apparently Brothership, which I just now realized. Huh. Let's talk about Bowser real quick, because holy shit, this is the best characterization of Bowser ever. Everything he does in this game is the best Bowser has to offer. If you're a Bowser fan, this is a must play. This is peak Bowser. Another part of what makes this game so great is the absolutely stellar soundtrack. Yoko Shimomura knocked it out of the park with this one, and this is genuinely my favorite soundtrack she's ever worked on. Every song hits. Towards the end of the game, after Mario and Luigi finally find a cure for the Blorbs, things go from bad to worse as Fawful unleashes the Dark Star in order to use its power for world domination. Bowser inhales the Dark Star and it starts to copy his DNA, transforming it into Dark Bowser. Now the final battle commences on top of Peach's Castle in a Great Dark Hurricane, where two Bowsers duke it out, accompanied by hands down my favorite piece of video game music ever written. After the battle, Fawful explodes, causing Bowser to cough up everyone he inhaled, much to his surprise and anger. Bowser attacks the Bros for one final battle as the credits roll. God fucking damn, dude, I love this game so much. Everything about it from start to finish just puts the biggest smile on my face. If you ask me, and most others will agree, this is where the series peaked. It is an absolutely incredible game that I will keep coming back to for many years to come. One day in the Mushroom Kingdom, Mario and company are invited to visit Pillow Island by Dr. Snoozemore. They arrive and meet up with Brock Monsieur, who escorts them to Pillow Castle. Peach and Toadsworth accidentally trigger a moving platform, which brings them deep in the underground ruins beneath the castle, and Mario and Luigi head in after to rescue them. They reunite and discover a secret collection room with relics from the ancient Pillow Kingdom. In true Luigi fashion, he decides to take a nap. Same dude. But when he sleeps on the bed, it opens a portal to the dream world. A dark figure emerges from the portal and kidnaps Peach, and Mario chases after them. Here he meets Dreamy Luigi, who decides to guide Mario through the dream world. While searching for Peach, Mario saves Prince Dreambird, the last of the Pillow folk who used to live in the island. He tells the two that Pillow Island received its aforementioned sleep powers via the Dreamstone and the Darkstone, both of which also have the power to grant wishes. He also tells them about the evil Antasma, who was detained in the dream world after destroying the Darkstone, and has escaped and is looking for the Dreamstone, intending to use it for power. Mario and Luigi, with the aid of Dreamy Luigi in the dream world, trek to find the Dreamstone before Antasma can. Like before, many returning faces appear, such as Starlo, Brock Monsieur, and even Popple makes an appearance after being absent for 2 games. Plus, the new faces like Dreambird and Antasma make the game more interesting. I mean, just look at all these cool and unique looking characters. They're so fun and uniquely designed, and not at all generic. Sorry, I'm just taking it all in before... Well, we'll get to that later. Having made the jump to 3DS, this game sacrifices sprites for stylized 3D models. Some people hate this change, but honestly, I don't mind it. I think the art direction is just as charming. Granted, the sprites look better, but this is still pretty good. As far as gameplay goes, it's pretty much identical to Bowser's Inside Story. Well, minus playing as Bowser, of course. The bros, as usual, gain new abilities to help them traverse Pillow Island. Oh, and Pillow Island, by the way, such a pretty location. The graphical jump from DS to 3DS makes such vibrant and beautiful environments, as well as a jump in sound quality, leading to another incredible soundtrack by Yoko Shimomura. Not unlike being inside Bowser's body in the previous game, the Dream World features 2D platforming segments that feel just as great. Plus, Dreamy Luigi can manipulate the environment, making for some really interesting and fun level design. I particularly like the one where you pull in his mustache and it launches you across the room. All of these abilities utilize the touchscreen, where you have Starlo manipulate Luigi's face to cause these dreamy abilities to occur. Dreamy Luigi isn't just helpful for traversal, he also helps out in battle for the Dream World, giving Mario new Bros attacks utilizing an army of Luigis. These are so much fun. In fact, the Bros attacks in general are probably my favorite in the series. They're so fun to use and they feel great to pull off. Not unlike Bowser in the last game, Dreamy Luigi can also become giant for super cool kaiju fights. Granted, these aren't as cool as the Bowser ones, but it makes up for it in amazing spectacle and graphics. I also really appreciate that this game lets you save whenever you want instead of only at special save points. However, one thing that everyone complains about in this game is its many tutorials. There's a tutorial for like every new ability, and there's a lot of them. It doesn't kill the whole experience, but it does get a little annoying. But I can look past that because the game has some of the best characterization of Luigi ever. If Inside Story was peak Bowser writing, Dream Team is peak Luigi writing. This game really shows just how much Luigi loves his brother and would do anything for him. Anyone out there who thinks Luigi is jealous of Mario has clearly never played this game. Luigi would die for his brother and vice versa. Towards the end of the game, Bowser and Phantasma nearly succeed in their plans, and after the bros defeat Phantasma, Bowser uses the Dreamstone to become Dreamy Bowser, who has such a cool design, for the final climax. The bros of course defeat him and save the day, yet again, bringing their Pillow Island vacation to an end. Dream Team admittedly isn't a game I go back to as much as the others, but every time I do, I have a blast replaying it. The ideas utilized in this game are some of the series' best, and I absolutely love exploring Pillow Island. The unique nature of the series really shines through in this one, making it just as enjoyable as the rest.
Yeah!
Huh?
Oh, yeah!
Oh, Paper Jam. What could have been? Serving as a crossover between Mario and Luigi and Paper Mario, the potential this game had was insane. I mean, think of all the unique and original characters between both series. Not to mention potential villains. You have the opportunity to team up two of the most beloved villains in the entire series with Dimentio and Fawful. I don't know how it'd work since they're both dead, but who cares? It'd be cool. But this game unfortunately released in the era of the infamous Paper Mario mandates, where no unique and original characters outside of mainstream Mario can be used. And that's unfortunately applied to Paper Jam as well. Honestly, with these mandates, it's a fucking miracle that Starlow's still here. Paper Jam is unfortunately the game of what could have been. There was so much hype surrounding this game, but when it launched, it was met with disappointment at just how milquetoast and generic it is. I remember the first time I played this game, I walked up to a Koopa expecting to talk to him, and a battle started. And that's when I knew, oh, they're going really basic with this one. With all that being said, though, yeah, the game's still pretty good. I mean, what'd you expect? It's still a Mario Luigi game. Even if the story is the most generic Mario shit ever, the humor, level design, combat, and music all carry it. And speaking of music, yep, you know what's coming. Yoko Shimomura really can do no wrong. The story is nothing special, as stated. The game opens with Luigi accidentally opening a book that's a portal to the Paper World, unleashing all the Paper Mario cast into this world. Here, Bowser and Paper Bowser team up, kidnap Peach and Paper Peach, and now it's up to the Mario Bros. And Paper Mario to save them. Like I said, milquetoast generic Mario plot. Despite the plot being really generic, I actually really like seeing the characters interact with their paper selves. I especially like watching Bowser and Paper Bowser plot to betray each other behind their backs, while Bowser Jr. and Paper Bowser Jr. are just being bros. That's super cute, and I really like that. Unfortunately, Paper Luigi doesn't make an appearance here, it's just the trio. Maybe he's too busy saving the Waffle Kingdom again. The bros control just as they did previously, but what really makes this one interesting is the addition of Paper Mario. He adds such a unique flavor to the bros, and his abilities are so fun to utilize for traversal and puzzle solving. As to be expected, with a new character comes new bros attacks, this time adding trio attacks for all three characters to perform, and they are all so fun to use and have awesome cinematic flair. Paper Mario also has this neat copy ability that allows him to make extra copies of himself and stack them together to give him extra hits as well as deal extra damage. I guess this game learned from its predecessor about long tutorials, because not only does this game remove lengthy tutorials, but it also adds a designated fast forward button to breeze through cutscenes. This game also seems to be much more linear with its design, cutting out most of the need for backtracking. It also adds in a dash ability, making traversal much quicker. but it's not without its gimmicks. Oh, no, no, no. Now, if you're familiar with Paper Mario installments like Sticker Star or Color Splash, you'd be familiar with the Battle Sticker/Battle Card system. Calm down. In this game, the battle cards make a return, but rather than act as your attacks, they are used to enhance them, whether it be to boost your damage, defense, etc., or even deal damage to enemies, heal. There's so many of these to use. They're more buffs than anything else, and they can really come in handy in a pinch. But that's not all. Whereas the previous two games had kaiju battles, Paper Jam has papercraft battles. These are open area battles where you take control of a different papercraft character and battle other papercraft enemies. And if you ask me, this is the most fun part of the game. Every time I entered a papercraft battle, I had a blast fighting each enemy and boss. Overall, despite being incredibly disappointing in the story department, Paper Jam more than makes up for it in nearly every other aspect. It's a game that I wish I gave a second chance much sooner than I did, as I was kind of put off by it because of the lack in story, but I had a blast on the replay and definitely see myself going back to it in the future.
Ow, 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 ow. Yahoo! Ha!
Much to my surprise, the next game in the series was a remake of the Bros' first outing, and if you ask me, this is the definitive version of the game. Yes, it sacrifices sprites for stylized models, but as I said, I don't mind them and find them just as charming. Plus, there's a ton of quality of life improvements that make the game better than ever. If I go back to Superstar Saga, it's usually this version. Wait, where the fuck is Gino? And of course, a remake means a brand new arranged soundtrack of all your favorites by the one and only Yoko Shimomura. But that's not all. This remake also adds an entirely new game mode, Bowser's Minions, which follows a group of, well, Bowser's Minions on a quest to find their leader after his mysterious disappearance after the Koopa Cruiser crashed. And this mode is, well, yeah, I don't much care for it. This mode features more strategy elements as you have to build your team of minions and battle other enemies. Which minions you use can affect how well you do in battle, and yeah, bro, this is a glorified mobile game. I mean, just fucking look at this, dude. This is all just happening, by the way. I'm not even pressing anything. Not to mention that because this is mostly strategy, you spend most of the game in menus. This mode is not only bland and forgettable, but it's also really fucking long. It's unfortunately not something I ever see myself going back to. But the core game of Superstar Saga is the best it's ever been, and that alone makes this game worth a chance. When I found out that the next game would be a remake of Bowser's Inside Story, I was ecstatic. I love the remake of Superstar Saga, and the original Inside Story is my favorite, so I was 100% ready for whatever this remake had to offer, and yeah, it's not as good as the original. Don't get me wrong, it's still Bowser's Inside Story, but unlike Superstar Saga, this game didn't really need that many quality of life improvements, so they just kind of did the game, but again. The kaiju battles are much more spectacle than anything else now, and I feel like they're not as fun to play because so much of it is focused on how cool it looks rather than the battle itself. Yoko Shimomura also composed 3 brand new songs for this, which are all really good, but one of them is a new title theme, and I don't understand that decision. The original game's title theme is iconic, why change it? Especially because it plays again at the end of the game to kind of wrap things up, and they keep that in the remake, so what was the point? Also, I feel like the enhanced instruments lent themselves to Superstar Saga much better because that game was on Game Boy Advance, whereas the DS's sound chip already could do a lot, so when they translated that over to 3DS, they kind of kept the arrangements the same and didn't really change too much, and because of that, it feels a little empty. Don't get me wrong, the songs are still good, but I just think I prefer the original soundtrack a little better. I don't know, see for yourself. But that's not all, as this game also features another Bowser's Minions game. This time taking control of Bowser Jr., but yeah, it's the same glorified mobile game slop. This mode really isn't fun. However, there is a silver lining. The story in Bowser Jr.'s journey is really good. Much to my surprise, the story is mostly a character dive into what Bowser Jr. thinks it means to be a leader, and he goes through a pretty damn good character arc. He starts off as this whiny little brat, only to become a real team player at the end. It was pleasantly surprising, and I really like this story. It's just unfortunate that it's tied to a boring game mode. Overall, this remake is a perfectly serviceable way to play Bowser's Inside Story, but you're much better off just playing the original. You can skip this one unless you're curious or just really like Bowser Jr. And that brings us to today with Mario & Luigi Brothership, and this game looks absolutely fantastic. The art style being 3D versions of the key character art is a brilliant idea, and the areas look so vibrant and colorful, and the animations are so fluid. I love how expressive everyone is. Also, Kevin Afghani has really improved as the Bros, because while watching the trailer, I kind of forgot it wasn't Charles anymore. He sounds really good here, and I'm excited to hear more of his performance. So, somehow, Mario and Luigi's hands start glowing, which transports them to a new world, which is really interesting, and I'm curious to see how and why that happens. What's really interesting is that, from what they showed of the battle system, it looks like traditional Superstar Saga-style Bros attacks make a return. while we also see the iconic shell kick attack at the end of the trailer. So maybe they're using both traditional bros attacks and the item ones. Maybe they have bros attacks from Superstar Saga, but the return of the consumable item attacks, like from Partners in Time. I don't know. I'm curious to see how they handle this. Another cool mechanic is that it seems like you can make Luigi stand in place somewhere to solve certain puzzles. Something tells me the bros are going to separate for puzzle solving more in this title than any other, and I can't wait to see the puzzles they come up with. I also noticed that outside of battle, the hammers are used with the X and Y buttons, so maybe those buttons will be designated to hammer while A and B are set to jump, instead of pressing the R button to change in between them. If this is the case, I thoroughly welcome this, as it'll make movement much more fluid since you don't have to switch action commands. The bros also have a bunch of new moves like this double wall jump and this UFO that I can't wait to try out. There's also a bunch of new and unique characters as to be expected from Mario and Luigi, this time seeming like they're going for a more electrical design with the allies resembling outlets while the baddies resemble electrical cords. It also seems like the new character Snoutlet will be taking Starlow's role, and I really am going to miss her. Maybe she'll have a cameo. It looks like you can select which area to go to, so maybe the ship will kind of serve as a hub like Peach's Castle and Partners in Time. There also seems to be this new Kaboom attack, which adds splash damage similar to the perfect timed hits in Mario RPG Remake. It also looks like there will be plenty of minigames, which is always welcome. And hey, it looks like Peach is having her own adventure. And she's riding a Dory? Man, it's always cool to see that character. I love Dory. Bowser also appears to be up to his old tricks, and I can't wait to see what they do with him in this title. There's also this very mysterious looking character who kind of has a white beard mustache going on, who I can only assume is this game's main antagonist. And man, this music, I know that style anywhere. This is definitely Yoko's work. Very excited to hear what she's cooking up for this game. I can't wait for this game to release in November. And after watching this video, I mean, can you blame me? I love the Mario & Luigi series ever since day one, and I'll continue to love it every day of my life. This series is full of some of the most charming, funny, heartwarming, and just overall memorable moments in any Mario media. This series features the Mario franchise at its absolute best, and I am so happy to see the series return after so long. Welcome back, Mario & Luigi. I can't wait to see what wacky adventures you have next. Hey, wow, thanks for watching this video all the way to the end. If you like this video, like it to let me know, subscribe for more content from me, hit the bell for notifications, and whatever else YouTube wants me to tell you. I'm Shaze64, and I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you next time.